Oh yeah. Hello everybody, what is up? My name is MVPerry, and today we're going to be rating my subscribers' favorite anime, because I made a community poll where I said, do you like anime? 70% of you said yes. I'm going to get into the comments because I asked you guys to comment what your favorite anime is to be in a video. And if I've seen the anime, I'm going to rate it from 1 to 10, what I personally think about it. Okay, so Patrick Selleck says Death Note. I love anti-hero arcs and the fact that most people I know were rooting for Light. It's hard. I was rooting for both L and Light, back and forth. I love them both. But I actually really do understand and relate to Light, which that sounds like a bad thing, but I'm just trying to be honest, okay? Death Note as an anime altogether, I will give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's iconic. I think it's one that every weeb should check out at some point. But I do believe season 2 was starting to get a little bit like, I did not like season 2 as much. Howl's Moving Castle, but this Aki Cat says Howl's Moving Castle is so underrated. Not sure why it gets hate. It's one of Ghibli's best. I don't know who hates on Howl's Moving Castle. If there's people who hate on it, you got issues. Howl's Moving Castle literally is a 10 out of 10. If someone is new to anime, I always tell them, you want to start with something like the Studio Ghibli movies, like Totoro, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. That's the good stuff. I really love that movie. 10 out of 10. Fruits Basket. This is XVDVN2. What kind of a name is that? Fruits Basket may not necessarily be my favorite, but it's still a big one to me. And so they really like Fruits Basket. I know there's a remake of it. It's not really my thing. Like, I would not personally choose to watch Fruits Basket. I know it's probably geared more towards like girls and stuff, but my sisters, they love it. And I watched some of it with them. I have not seen the whole thing, but from what I have seen of Fruits Basket, it is nice. It is enjoyable. I will give it a 6 out of 10. I like the ship dynamic between Kyo and the girl. I think her name's Toru. Gentry Brown says A Silent Voice. It seemed like it was going to be a romance at first, but ended up being one of the most powerful explorations of forgiveness and self-acceptance I've seen. Of course, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, and I'm gonna rate it a solid like 8 or 9 out of 10. It's really good, but it's not one that I'm gonna be like, you're not gonna catch me watching A Silent Voice like multiple times a year. It is a painful movie. It's a good movie, but it's a painful one. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. It's a masterpiece. The first episode wasn't that amazing, but slowly as I continued watching, I became hooked on it. And so here's what's funny about this is that people, it's an inside joke in my channel that people will be like, MVPerry, it's Psyche K, hey, Psyche K, what's up? And I'm not trying to be Psyche K. I did not design my like persona off Psyche K. I knew about him, but I wasn't copying him. I just wanted to be like a human version of a snail, a pink snail. But, and I always pretend to be annoyed, like, I'm not Psyche K. But I actually don't have a problem with Psyche K. In fact, I do like it. I've not seen all of it, but from what I've seen of it, I do think it's a genuinely funny anime. And out of respect for Psyche K, I gotta try some coffee jelly at some point. I have still never had coffee jelly. The Chaotic says Death Parade, and you know, they're giving their whole paragraph about what's good about Death Parade. And the thing is, I have not seen Death Parade. I've only seen the first couple episodes of it. What I will say, what I will rate Death Parade is I will say it is definitely the intro is really good. The intro is one of those unskippable intros. So the intro, I give a 10 out of 10. I can't rate the anime, I haven't seen it, but the intro, I give a 10 out of 10 for sure. Geeky Gamer says Erased. Underrated anime. At first, seems like a mystery novel, but it actually teaches you about abuse and support. It's one of the most depressing animes I've watched. It also wraps up the serial killer arc at the end. Amazing story, 100 out of 10. That's a big rating, 100 out of 10. But to be fair, for everything the anime covers, the ups and downs, the plot, like all of it, the fact that they do all of that, literally it's only like 12 episodes long, like the value you get out of it, it's not like you're wasting any time. I gotta give that anime a solid like 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it for what it was. It's a good anime, and I do recommend it for, I mean, it's not like a kid's anime, so if you're a kid, don't watch it, but if you're older, definitely give Erased a try. Ban Hashim says, it has to be none other than Code Geass. It was a masterpiece from its beginning till its end. Plus, it has one of the best endings of all anime. Literally, preach. Code Geass is on my top 3 anime ever. Definitely on my top 5. I literally have a figure of Lelouch on my shelf, which you can't see, but I really do like Code Geass. And I personally, even though I had a couple parts where I was like, I don't really like this, or I felt like that was not necessary, or what did that add? What was this whole arc about? Altogether, I do give Code Geass a 10. It is a 10 for me. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one of those animes that isn't afraid to be as absurd and off the wall as possible, yet no matter how crazy it gets, it always feels like you should take it seriously. Yeah, JoJo is a funny one. It's stylish, it's funny, it's scary, it's like multiple things at once. It's got references to bands, like it's really cool. What I will say is it's the most unique anime I can think of. I don't know if I'd say it's the best anime, but it's the most unique. And if we're going to rate it on a 1 to 10, personally, I give it a solid 8. It's very unique and stylish, and it's not like anything you've ever seen before. Cowboy Bebop, this is Captain Reed. Cowboy Bebop, excellent characters and good structure, bringing together excellent humor, action, and emotional moments with great balance, endlessly rewatchable. And here's what's cool about this. I know a lot of people, whenever I say Cowboy Bebop is my favorite anime, they'll look at me confused because they've never watched it, or it's like a really old one, or things like that. But for me, it is my favorite anime. I give it a 10 out of 10. Nothing else for me to say. It's good stuff. Naruto, this anime is my childhood, and I will never forget how many things it taught me, like never giving up on my dreams. I can really resonate with this comic because Naruto, you know, being a shonen anime, it's gonna have tons and tons of episodes, some of them being filler episodes, some of it just being like, what, like I'm getting bored now. So it definitely suffers from that sometimes. Well, I'll rate it an 8 out of 10, but Naruto's Like the message of Naruto, I give it 10 out of 10. Sea Salt Dino says, I think Ikamusume, aka Squid Girl. It was one of the first animes I've ever watched and still holds very dear to me. Also, the opening song is a banger and has lots of squid puns, so easy 10 out of 10. Squid Girl was also a childhood like anime for me. It's one of the first animes I watched, and like, you know, that whole intro, I remember that being like 12 years old, 11 years old, and having that intro in my mind, stuck in my head. I don't remember much of it because it was a while ago that I watched it, but out of the memories and the nostalgia I get from it, I definitely give it a 9. I really liked it. I don't know how good it really is actually if I rewatched it now. Evangelion, this is Yukina, says Evangelion, still one of my favorite anime of all times. During my darkest time, I was always alone and no one came to help. And Evangelion is what is the closest thing to me at that dark time, so there's like someone that understands me. Evangelion is a weird anime, I'm not gonna lie. It's strange, and I don't recommend it to anybody who's younger, but what I will say is it's on my top 5, okay? That's already something. It's on my top 5. The art is beautiful. The music is amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. And some of the crazy stuff, like I just love how just messed up it is. Like this will make you think. You might be having a psychological breakdown, but it will make you think, that's for sure. I'm gonna give Evangelion a 9 out of 10. It's got its issues, but I give it a 9 out of 10. Nintendo Blade says Toradora had some interesting character development that kept me hooked, and seeing the evolution of Taiga and Ryuji's relationship expanding over the course of the series was amazing. So interestingly enough, I watched most of it. I didn't see all of it. There's like the last few episodes I never watched. I did see the confession scene where like, you know, finally kiss and all that stuff. I saw that on YouTube, but I've never seen the full anime. But what I've seen of it, I like it. It can be a little bit frustrating at times. Sometimes Taiga, the tsundere girl, can actually be very annoying, and you see Ryuji just getting abused by her, and you're like, my boy, how is he letting this slide? But you have to remember, it's just a funny anime. It's comedy. You're not supposed to take it seriously, and they do genuinely love each other. Like, they're building a real connection. I don't think it's my favorite ever, but I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think that's a fair rating for me. The man behind the Poggers says One Punch Man. The premise might make it sound boring, but that's kind of the point. It has incredible animation, fight choreography and characters, great comedy, and pretty damn good emotional senses in my opinion. JoJo's my second favorite. So here's what's interesting about One Punch Man. People always ask me, what is an anime you don't like, MVPerry? What's an anime you didn't enjoy? And somehow, for whatever reason, it just hasn't clicked with me. One Punch Man is actually one of the ones I don't really enjoy. I don't hate it. I'm not like into it. When I'm watching it, it just doesn't keep me captivated for some reason. Some of the humor doesn't even like hit me the same way. Like I don't find it funny. It's just not my thing. There's nothing wrong with it necessarily. I can't get into it. But I do have a special place in my heart for One Punch Man because my girlfriend, she reminds me of Tatsumaki, you know, the green-haired tornado, the short girl. She's very similar to her. We'll always see posts of like Saitama and Tatsumaki together, and we'll be like, oh, OMG, literally us. And so I have a connection to that. But the actual anime, I'm not a big fan of, and that is my honest opinion. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I feel like a lot of weebs would say that's straight up sinful to rate it that bad, but that's my personal opinion. Anyways, those are the different ratings that I have for the anime that my subscribers watch. Let me know in the comments what you want next, and thank you to everybody who commented what their favorite animes were. If you want more anime content, I'll let you know. If you want more YouTube polls related comment, let me know. If you want to answer polls like this in the future, all you gotta do is go to my channel, MVPerry, then you go to the community tab. Yeah, and that's where you scroll down, you'll see all these different polls, and sometimes I'll make videos off of them. So, thanks so much for watching, everybody. As always, my name is MVPerry, and I'll see you in the next video.